There we go. Cool. Yeah, so I wanted to do today's session all about the shoulders. So yeah, have yourself a little tie ready. So dressing gown tie or rope. I'm using my physio band. And also have a chair or surface that you can push down on, so we can do some stretches into the upper back as well. So pop them to one side, ready. Lovely. And then let's start with some nice big deep breaths and some shoulder rolls, getting yourself into a nice comfortable position. I'm going to do mine on my knees, but if you prefer sitting down on your butt, that's also cool, whatever works. Or you can do it standing, up to you. And then from here, we're just going to do our inhales through the nose and exhales out through the mouth, lifting the shoulders up as we inhale and down as we exhale, lifting it up and down, up and down. Lovely. One more breath in and release out. Lovely. Pin the shoulders back, opening up the chest at the front, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the back, and then round and separate the shoulder blades at the back, rounding over. And then open at the front, squeeze the shoulder blades, and round. And inhale, squeeze at the back. Exhale, round. Lovely. And then taking it through all of those motions, back, up, round, down, back, up, round, down. I'm going to take my hands onto my shoulders. I find I can just get into a nicer stretch when my hands are in, when my elbows are more bent. That's just my preference. Change directions, flip the other way. Inhaling as you rise, exhale as you fall. Lovely, just getting all into your shoulders and through that rotation. Lovely. And then from here, taking the arms out, bring the palms forward. We're just going to do little pulses forward. And this just helps to really activate and engage all of, and start to awaken all of our little muscles all in our shoulders. Lovely. Turn the palms to the back of the room, pushing it backwards. Little pulses forward and back. Lovely. Good. Palms facing down, little circles forward. So imagine I've got a pencil on each fingertip and I'm drawing a little circle on both hands. Just round and round, and then take it a little bit bigger, taking to a medium-sized circle. Perfect. And then change direction. Keep it medium-sized, but changing the direction, taking it backwards. Lovely. And then little circles. And still going backwards. Lovely. Good. Just give the arms a little bit of a rest in case they're starting to tire. Give them a little bit of rub. And we're going to do the same thing again, but palms are facing up this time. So you feel slightly different. Little circles forwards. Doesn't it feel weird how much of a difference it can make in the shoulders by just turning your wrists round? And then take it into a medium-sized circle. Lovely. And then change direction, taking the circles backwards, keeping it medium size, keeping the palms up as best you can. Lovely. And then tiny circles going backwards. Lovely stuff. Good. And then letting it all out. And in this movement is really good for our rotator cuff, which is basically what holds our shoulder joint in place. It's like wraps around here. We're going to take the palm of our hand facing up and bring my little finger in towards kind of just above my tummy button. And then from here, I'm going to open out. So my elbow stays in and I'm going to open my hand out as if I'm serving dinner. Take my hand behind the back of my head and then flick an imaginary ponytail. I mean, actually, I've got a ponytail, so I can flick it, but that is the flicking motion that's important, not the actual flicking. So we take it in, out, behind, up, and over, in. Out, behind, up and over, in. Out, behind, up and over, in. Out, behind, up and over. Lovely. Switch over to the other hand. So we'll just mark it through. Hand comes in, palm faces up just above your belly button. And then take the elbow in, taking your hand out as if you're serving dinner. Take it behind your head and then flick it up and over like you're flicking out a ponytail. So we go in, out, behind, up and over. 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 Fabulous. Take the two together. Hands going in, out, behind, up and over. 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 Last one. Out, behind, up and over. Lovely. And then just rolling it out. Fabulous stuff. Give it a little roll forwards. Brilliant. Rolling yourself over onto all fours. We're just going to do a little bit more in the back. So from here, make sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. And then from here, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, round the back, separate the shoulder blades, go down between the legs, really pushing through. Lovely, stretching out those shoulders. And then take it into reverse. Pelvis opens up, push through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together at the back, looking up to the sky. Lovely. And then tuck round over, looking down. And then open out again. Imagine your tailbone straight reach the top of your head. Lovely. Roll your ribcage round in a circle, just feeling through all of those lovely stretches. And then change directions, you could the other way round. Lovely, good. So we're just warming up all of our spinal cord. Take yourself back to facing the front. I'm going to just do a little bit on my neck, so I'm a little bit more on my spine, but the neck part. So I'm keeping my shoulders relaxed down. Bring my ear over to one shoulder. Gosh, I've got really tight on my neck today. I don't know whether it was something I did yesterday or not sure. Lifting it up. Ear over to the other side. Maybe it's because of how I slept. I just feel like this is a really nice stretch for me today. Lifting up, over back to side one. And up, over to side number two. Taking it back to side number one, and then just roll your chin all the way down to your chest, and then take your ear over to the other shoulder. So we're just rolling through that front semicircle, chin down, arms down, and then over, just to stretch out all of the back of the neck. Now, as you do this, I want you to just really pay attention to where you're feeling any stretches. If there feels any tension, if there does feel like there's like a tension spot, feel free to just hold it in that position. And then before you then fluidly move on again. It just allows it to just hold it in that pressure point and just apply that stretch a little bit deeper where you might need it. Lovely. And then when you're ready, lifting your head back up on top of the shoulders. Lovely. Now from here, I want you to grab your band or your dressing gown rope or tie or resistance band, whatever you've got. Now I'm going to do mine on my knees, but you're welcome to either sitting down or standing up or on your knees with me as well, whatever you prefer. Now what I want us to do to begin with is I want you to take your hands quite wide. So mine are wider than my shoulders, okay? If you've got a resistance band, then you want it to be loose. I'm not kind of like taking it tight and then taking it wide. I want it quite loose to begin with, because I just want to do a bit of mobility. So my hands are going to be wider than my shoulders, okay? And then I'm going to lift my arms up. Now when I'm here, I'm going to have my shoulders relaxed. So I don't need to kind of like lift up or pull them down. I just want them nice and relaxed in the middle. And then I'm just going to pull it back behind me. Now, if you're super flexy, you might feel comfortable taking it all the way round and rotating the shoulder, but only do that if that feels comfortable to do so. You can only, as we bring our hands closer in, that becomes harder and harder to do. So even if you're just opening it here and having a lovely stretch along the front of the armpit in front of the shoulder, or you might take it round a little bit deeper and take it all the way round down to the bottom, and that it doesn't stretch anymore after that. So you can take it all the way over if you want to, or you can just hold it at that point where you can feel that stretching. Lovely. Or take it all the way around, whichever you prefer, or whatever feels okay to do. Lovely. And just be conscious of where your pelvis is here. Try to keep your pelvis neutral and not to do a big old arch. I want my pelvis neutral, so it's more in my shoulders than it is in my back. Lovely, really nice. Let's make this one our last one. I've kind of lost count, but I think I've done 5. Hopefully you're about 5, but it's more about the feeling that you're getting as opposed to how many. So just holding it for that length of time. Now this time we're going to take it a little bit closer. So I want you to have it shoulder distance apart, okay? If in doubt, measure against your shoulders. I always underestimate how wide my shoulders are. Like, oh, I've got tiny narrow shoulders. No, I've got beautiful broad shoulders. Okay, lovely. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Now, if you're doing this with something that doesn't have stretch, obviously I've got stretch. I know you've, Sarah, you've got stretch. So you'll be able to, when it feels tight, probably stretch and take it a little bit deeper by taking it wider. If you don't have anything that's forgiving, you won't be able to go as deep. So we're just going to take it up. Now, because our hands are closer together, it restricts. So I have to take my hands a little bit wider and then maybe do one at a time. Oh God, that looks so creepy when I do it. To take it over, up one at a time. So that is harder when your hands are closer together to get your shoulders to roll and rotate round. So this is the point. There's no right or wrong. You're just taking it back as far as you can where you feel that stretch. Lovely. Try to keep that tummy tight and pelvis in tucked down position. So tilted and neutral position. And then release. And then taking it up again. Lovely. And release. Lovely. And just take this through your own time. If you're really enjoying that stretch, you want to hold it there for longer, feel free to do so. Lovely. And back. And then let's make this one our last one. And you might want to just reshuffle. Now, I noticed that on my hands, maybe because I'm a little bit slippy, they start going a little bit wider. So I've just looped mine so I don't become as sliding apart, so I can keep that distance. And again, the moment I go, I notice that my back is tilted. So pelvis under, tummy nice and tight. Keep your core straight and engaged so that I can just focus on just the shoulders stretching. Lovely. And release. Lovely stuff. Now from here, I'm going to do one at a time. So I'm going to take my arms nice and wide again. I want them wider than my shoulder. If you do find that you are quite comfortable in this position, then you can take it a little bit closer. If you found that you could go all the way around with shoulders at shoulder width, and you can take your arms all the way back, then feel free to do it that close. But you're probably similar to me, or maybe not. You could be wherever. You want to be a little bit wider, but you can go narrower if you wish to. So I want us to do it one time at a side. So I'm going to lean my arm over. So one arm goes behind my head and the other one comes down. And then I can rotate round on that shoulder. And then I can bend the other arm down. Then I can lift that arm up and then bring the arm out and then back up. Okay, so it's kind of going around in a circle. So let's go back the other way. Bend the arm, should feel it a little bit in the tricep. So this arm can go back and down. So a rotation in the shoulder. And then I can bend my elbow in down towards me and drop. Bend my opposite arm, elbow up to the sky, and take the arm back and forward. So I'll do this from the side so you can kind of see it a little bit more as to where my arms are going. So I come up to the top. I bend one arm so that my other arm can come back, and then I rotate my shoulder round. So instead of being at the back, rotate it forwards and bring it down. And then I bend my other arm and let it join it. Then take that arm up to my shoulder, elbow to the sky. Then this arm can come back and then lifting it up. Okay, So we're just going to do a couple of those motions. If that feels horrendous for you and like your muscles aren't doing that, your shoulder doesn't want to rotate in that way, take it way wider so that you can more easily move through those motions. So the wider you are, the easier this is. The closer you are together, the harder it is. So I'm going to take mine a little bit closer, and we're just going to go down to the bottom, round, up the other side, down, other way, switch, and up. I feel like I'm doing a little dance with this, with my little wave in the middle. And just take this in your own time. Just really, I just love that feeling of like the movement through the shoulders. It just really warming up all those little muscles, which we don't really focus on too much. A lot of the time when we do movements, we'll be thinking about all of the main big muscles, but actually in your shoulder there are so many small muscles that are there to support the joint, and it's just nice to use like these little mobility movements that will really help to warm up those muscles and engage them a little bit easier. Lovely, and then relax. Fabulous, really nice stuff there. Now your shoulders should feel nice and open and like there's loads of movement and nice and limber. Pop your tie or bands to one side. I want you to go and grab your chair or stand near your surface if you're near a table. Now if you're, I'm just trying to think of this, how I can demo this. If you're, I'm going to do it like you're near a table because I know you are today, Sarah. So I'm going to do it on the back of my chair. Oh, sorry guys, I've got a little prompt come up on my thing. Hopefully that's not too bad for you. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do it when I'm standing up so that it will make a little bit more sense. I want you to bring your hands onto your top of your chair or onto your table, and we're going to step ourselves further back. I want you to have a softness in your knees and then push through your shoulders, dropping your head down. And I really want you to feel like you're pushing your armpits down towards the floor and that somebody is pushing down through the top of your back, almost like someone's got their hand on your upper back and they're just pushing down, helping you get deeper and opening up your shoulders. Exhale out. Lovely, big inhale. Exhale. On the exhalation, feel them pushing through. Deepening into your stretch. Lovely. Gently rounding yourself over, lifting yourself up. We're going to do this one arm at a time. So pick the arm that's going to go on the top of the table. Bring your opposite hand and hold it where your shoulder is. And this is so that you can keep your armpit facing down rather than your shoulder rotating out. So I keep my, just holding it into place. Hand comes onto my chair or table and then step myself nicely back. Softness in my knees. I'm not doing a hamstring stretch. And then I push my shoulder down, opening it up, pushing my armpit down towards the floor. Lovely. One more breath here. Fabulous. Lifting it up, switch over to the other hand. So then I place my opposite hand around the shoulder and then place that hand onto my chair or table. Step it back, softness in the knees. Armpit goes down towards the floor, relaxing in the shoulder. To every exhalation, really feel like you're just sinking that little bit deeper. Lovely. One more breath here. Fabulous. Really, really nice. And then lifting yourself back up. Pop your chair to one side. And then we're going to take ourselves onto all fours. Now we've opened up our shoulders, really stretch them out. But we can often feel a lot of our muscles, that smaller muscles around our shoulder blade, like right next to the shoulder blade, don't quite get stretched out in those positions. So I want us just to open up them, especially because I know some of you have that niggly tension there. A lot of people hold stress around there as well. So it's really nice to just stretch it out. So I'm going to take myself onto all fours position, making sure my wrists are underneath my shoulders, knees are underneath my hips, and then I'm going to pick up one hand and thread it through the gap. Now from here I'm going to lower my head down to the floor, but really reach forward with this arm so that the shoulder blade of this arm is really stretching out, and I'm just stretching out all of the little muscles that hold my shoulder blade in its place. So I'm just stretching, reaching forward, and then lift and release, open it up the other way, opening up the chest, and then take it back through, thread it through. See if you can go a little bit further this time. Lovely. And release, taking it back up, open up through the chest. And last one, see if we go that further bit still, stretch, stretch, stretch. Lovely, and release, taking it up. Bring that hand back down underneath your shoulder and switch to your other hand. Hand threads through, head goes down, and really try and reach forward as much as possible. And I'm really trying to push that shoulder round and far out as much as I can. Then I'm lifting it up and open through the chest and thread back through. See if I can go that little bit deeper. Lovely. And open. And the last one, can we go a little bit deeper still? Oh, feels so good. And open. Lovely. And relax, bring it back down. Really nice. Now from here, I want us to do our final stretch, and this is again going to be focusing on the muscle that kind of wraps underneath your shoulder blades. So it's kind of separating your shoulder blades, stretching out your rhomboid, stretching out your trapezium. From here, I'm going to take my arms over, crossing at the elbows. The hand wraps round. If you want to, you can bring it palm to palm, or, sorry, if you want to, you can bring it palm to palm, or if that feels too much, bring it back of palm, back of your hands together. If you can bring palm together, that's perfect. And then from here, I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can kind of see a little bit more clearly. I'm going to be pushing my elbows down, away, and up. And I want to keep them in line with my shoulders. And then I don't know if you can see this at the back. I'll go through this so maybe you can see it where my muscles like take apart. So and then I lift my arms up and away. And it's the arm that's at the top that shoulder will feel much more kind of separate. I mean, they'll both feel separated, but more so in my top arm. And just breathing. Lovely. And then release, let go. Switch so you have your different hand on top. Then wrap it round again and again. It's up to you. You can either do back palm to back palm or try and get palms together. And then again, elbows down, up and out. Try and keep them in line with your shoulders as best you can. And just breathing through that lovely stretch. Helping to release any tension we hold in our upper back. And stretching out all those muscles that are holding our shoulder blades in place. And relax. Lovely. Really, really, really nice. I hope you feel all limbo and stretched out in your shoulders and feeling like, oh, I just feel so much freer in my upper back. It feels so good. I hope it does for you as well. Really well done as well, because some of those are not comfortable stretches. So fantastic work for just holding on through that.